Hello everyone, thank you very much for joining us. I'm Philip Duncan. There's a lot of weather around the country at the moment. We've seen these gales, we've seen thunderstorms offshore, and now we're getting high pressure coming back into the forecast. Most parts of New Zealand, they are leaning drier than average for the next 7 days ahead because of this big block of high pressure on its way in. But at the same time, we do have a storm just offshore developing in the next few days right here in the northeast of New Zealand, and it's likely to linger from this weekend, from Saturday, right through till the end of next week. And that's going to bring some showers into the North Island, but it's going to be a southeasterly wind as well, and that means the temperatures are going to drop. This is how it looks though as we go into Friday. No real sign of that low, although some of the isobars up here just starting to get that sort of rounded shape to a low pressure system. Pretty much light winds though for most of the North Island, a little bit windier maybe through the ranges, and similar story in the South Island around the Southern Alps, a little bit breezy. There's a weak cold front coming through on Friday with a burst of rain or showers on the west coast, and we'll see a few showers down here in Southland. This is a westerly wind, so even though the temperatures drop briefly with that southerly, it's a very localized southerly, and the westerly wind is really the main feature. We've got a bit of rain coming up over the next day or so. This is the 24-hour rainfall for Friday, and it shows these areas here with the pink getting up around 50-60 millimetres. Further north in the more populated areas, pretty small rainfall totals, 5 or 10 millimetres coming for you on Friday, and that's a similar forecast around Southland and parts of Otago. Dry for pretty much everywhere else. So this weekend, spot the low. This is it up here. It's quite deep, 988 hectopascals, technically a storm with gale force winds going around the centre of it, but at the same time this big powerful high is rolling into the New Zealand area. There's quite an air pressure gradient between the 1029 hectopascals you see there and the 988. That means windy weather will be kicking in, and it's coming in from the east to southeast, which is not our usual wind direction across New Zealand. So that begins on Saturday. The South Island settled with high pressure coming through as well. By Sunday, get used to this. That's quite a big system right on our doorstep. But the high spreading out from Australia and out towards the Chatham Islands, keeping the South Island and the lower North Island mostly settled. The storm is just offshore. That means we'll get big swells coming through with a southeasterly wind. That could be good news for some surfers. It just depends. Keep an eye on the marine conditions and the beach conditions, because it will get rough and dangerous. There'll be hidden rips and things, although at this time of the year, not so many people out there swimming. Now next week, Monday kicks off pretty much the same. That storm's actually got a little bit deeper, and at the same time, the high's got quite a bit more powerful. So that means more isobars are showing up on the map, and that means windier weather. You'll notice now it's creeping down into the South Island with the centre of the high south of New Zealand. So next week kicks off with showers in the areas that need it the most. So that is some good news coming in for dry Hawke's Bay and dry parts of Waiata Upper. It'll be dry for most other places though over those ranges as those southeasterly winds blow through. We've got another map to show you here. This actually does indicate the colder weather coming through at the start of next week. So on Monday, the departure from normal, we were talking about that polar southerly. Well, that big high coming in is sort of cutting off that southerly, but the cold air is still going to make it in. So the South Island, it's going to be pretty cold coming through into Monday night, even though you may not all get frost because it might be a little bit breezy, but you can see it will be colder. Now as we go into Tuesday, you can see that wind coming through. This is why it's sort of creeping down into Canterbury. This cold airflow down here is coming up and around and into the North Island. So you've got a southerly really, even though it's an east to southeasterly, it's really coming out of the Southern Ocean. That low to the north getting deeper still, so the swells will continue to get bigger next week around northern New Zealand. And our final map shows that low barely changed and the high weakening a little bit now. So this is an interesting system to watch next week. The modelling seems pretty sure it's going to remain offshore, but of course when it's that close, it's what we call one to watch. It's likely to linger through to the end of next week in that same position and then finally clear away next weekend, just in time for a westerly and a weak cold front to make it back in. That's all from me. For more details, go to our websites, ruralweather.co.nz and weatherwatch.co.nz. We'll see you tomorrow for our final video of the week.